There's someone watching. Somebody's watching. Jeez. Oh boy, guys. Oh, got two people watching now. Uh-oh. Where's somebody now? Oh, there's Tim. What's going on? Just figured I'd come on live tonight, and as I said, guys, I'm getting ready for our squirrel season. You guys saw the last video of me prepping up for the season and getting the guns ready, and you know what's going to be my top 3 guns this season. That's going to be going out a lot, and you know it's coming down to the point where it's like I'm ready to go. You know, and it's like too easy, especially with Avengers in 25 and 22 and the crawl, you know. And I ended up tonight getting out the old break barrel, the Swarm Whisper in 22, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't get it to shoot as good, and then I realized, hey, I'm not actually shooting a PCP. I'm shooting a break barrel, so I was capable of shooting about a 1-inch group at 50 yards with the Swarm series gun, but really, you know, this isn't no PCP air rifle. So I mean, I was kind of happy for a 1-inch group at 50 yards with a break barrel. I mean, it was more of just like a plinking, see what the gun was capable of doing. That's all it really was about. I mean, it wasn't about, you know, precision, and I had to see if little King Ajax had still had it in him to shoot a break barrel. Yeah, it was fun, but it's definitely challenging with the break barrel situations. But you know, I always go back to the old PCP guns, and you know, I guess we're gonna go ahead and keep, you know, the Avengers in the live streams in the background. Might end up switching out to Godzilla tonight and put it on the bog pod. And I still haven't come up with a name for the 22, so we'll see what I discover the name's gonna be, but not yet. I think you forgot something in the carport. I don't know if I forgot something, but yeah, I might put Godzilla up there right now. And but man, I like that wood stock on that 22 Avenger, and it's just perfect. It's a little heavier, but it just looks so nice on that gun, and then that element optic on top. And guys, I hate to bust your bubble on this one, but the element helix scope works really good on this gun. And you know, I was thinking of not really using it this upcoming small game and hunting season, but you know, the element helix does actually work really good on this gun. It's flat shooting. You know, it's perfect for this gun. And I ended up upgrading a scope on the 25. In that last video I had the center point 3 to 9 32 scope, and I ended up another scope for it, and I'll let you guys try what this one is. And I'm not going to show you guys it yet, but this is a bad scope for this 25. I'm going to let you guys try to guess what kind it is. And it's kind of got a 0 stop in it. And yeah, it's got focus, lighted reticle. I'll let you guys try to guess what it is, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put it up here, put Godzilla up there. Just because it's kind of the start of the show tonight, guys. Take the old 22 with the element helix on it. Take it off. I know a lot of you are probably like, well, how do you have an element and stuff like that? Well, I think I'm probably going to turn it this way. There we go. There we go. Godzilla's up there right now. Oh, let's see here. We got a comment. Yeah, we actually stopped there again on the way back. So yeah, Tim, we actually did twice. We didn't stop there on the way up, but we stopped there on the way back home. And yeah, had me a good old cheeseburger and the steak fries, and that's like my favorite combo, is having a cheeseburger and steak fries. Like I'm not a real big fan of just regular fries. I mean, I'll eat them and stuff like McDonald's and stuff like that, and you know, Burger King fries, and you know, all your other places that have French fries. But I just love steak fries. They're my favorite. Did Jimmy send you my email address? He told me that he would. Yeah, he did. I just haven't got around to email you yet because it's been busy ever since. And guys, I'm a little bit behind right now on the chipmunk. Or there it goes. I guess I just ruined it. Jimmy STKO James, he knows about it. It was a chipmunk video that I had up from up north. And it's still in the editing. So yeah, I'm just trying to add all the clips into the video, and yeah, it's taking some time doing that. But I do apologize, guys, that that video's not up right now. And I did say about a week ago that it would be up in a week. It's just taking a little bit of time, but it's definitely coming. It's gonna be out probably by the end of the weekend, I'm guessing. Just because the fact is, I have so many other videos that are more with Avengers than that video, you know. So the pest controlling will be coming out pretty soon here. I just got to get it going. So yeah, chipmunks got 2 today. Yeah, I just spoiled it for you guys. What? With side of slugs, right? I don't know what you mean there, Tim. I'm kind of... Man, now we're only down to 1. What the heck? We were pretty going there pretty quick, and we need to get this live stream going out more and more. Guys, I mean, it's Tim, you know, our squirrel season's starting on Wednesday, and I don't know if you're going to be out, but I'm going to. But they're calling for rain, which might affect a little bit of my hunt. But I'm going to try my best to make some videos for you guys. And I get a one of my customers on a side job that I do around YouTube, she's got a groundhog problem. And been trying to shoot a couple groundhogs off her property, and just got the word of it the other day and went out there the other day and took a look, and they're destroying her backyard. So that might be something to do a video with and take Godzilla out there. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to stay on very long just because I got a busy day tomorrow and got things to do. With a side of slugs. Yeah, I mean, Tim, it's like, I don't know. I mean, the slugs, I can tell you this right now with the slugs out of the Godzilla or 25 Avenger. You know, I got mine tuned out to shoot the slugs really good. I mean, it comes down to, what you projectile that you want to shoot basically. And yeah, you could shoot regular pellets out of the 25 Avenger. You could shoot regular pellets out of the 22. I'm working on right now tuning my 22 Avenger to shoot FX hybrids. I'm in the works of it right now, and it's taking a little bit longer. I don't know if maybe because it's the caliber of the gun or what it is, but I know for a fact those FX hybrids are actually not really slugs. The Nelson Specialty, Varmint Knockers, and all of them are actually legit slugs. The FX hybrids are really not slugs. They're basically a pellet into a form of a slug with a hollow point, such as like a bullet with a hollow point in them. And I actually have a couple here that, here's some 25 hybrids right here that never been shot yet. And then I got the Nelson slugs in 25, which is right here. So that's what my gun is tuned out to right now. And then I have the H&N slugs. But I can tell you guys this right now, that the slugs, the FX slugs, or the FX hybrids, are really not slugs. They're just basic pellets turned into a slug. They're that's basically it. And I ended up capturing one of these slugs today at 300 yards, roughly. And the FX hybrids, it barely did anything. So, goes to show me right there that they don't really do much. And the Nelsons, they probably do a little bit better. I mean, the pellets out of the 25 Avenger do really good. Longer distance, they do all right. I mean, I'm shooting 25 4s and 34 Mark IIs. Cro-Magnon Barracuda Hunters, Field Target Trophies. So I'm shooting all kinds of pellets out of that 25, but like I said, it's a slug gun. So it's shooting slugs really well. Would I work you up a sampler pack of all of them? Did I just read that right, Tim? Send me up a sampler. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean that the slugs. It's really not a like I said, guys. It's really not about just because my gun's tuned in with slugs. The only reason why my guns tune in with slugs is because Godzilla is more made for bigger game. 25s and ups are made for your bigger game as you go up in caliber. Like I could take, obviously, you could take a 22, you could take a 177, you could even take the old 20 cal Benjamin, whatever they're called, the old fashioned little pump guns and 20 cal, and you could drop a raccoon with a well placed shot. So it comes down to, um, it comes down to the tuning part of the gun, the slug, the pellet, what your reg's set at, how many turns in you're on the hammer spring. It all comes down to that. And then you want to find that sweet harmonic key, um, of the gun. You want to feel that gun go off when you squeeze that trigger, and it's just that unique sound to it, where that hammer spring is just perfect. And that's what I try to tend to sight in my guns with, is that noise, that sound. And my guns right now might not be shooting over 900 feet per second, 1,000 feet per second. They're not. You know, I mean, that I don't care about the speed. I really don't. I care about that precision shot. When I squeeze that trigger, I want to know that that slug pellet is going to hit right where I'm aiming at. Like, I don't care about people out there on YouTube that say, well, you need to shoot the slugs at 990 feet, 1,050 feet, 1,000, and all this other speed. I don't care about all that. All I care about is precision and know where my shot's going to go when I squeeze that trigger instead of shooting that high speed. Yeah, that high speed, you might get a little bit more expansion on it, but as long as you could take that well placed shot, it's like deer hunting, guys. Would you shoot a deer in the hind leg and expect to kill it? No, you're not. I mean, you're not going to kill that deer. You're going to go follow it and trail it for miles, and your chances are you're not going to find that deer. It comes down to same thing with center fire. Any gun, it comes down to a well placed shot. That's all it is. And if you can't do that, then you're not ready to be out there hunting yet. And it's not. That's all I kind of go to. And I have a crowny graph, and I crowny each one of my guns, and take notes on them. I got a pad of paper that I take notes on of every single gun, and it's like I don't care about the speed. It's that precision. If I can go ahead, you know, and make a well placed shot, that's all that matters. I don't care about the speed. Heck, I turned down my crawl MPL3 at all the way down, and it was shooting about 400 and something feet per second. And at 25 yards, I was able to achieve about a $half size group. So which is pretty good at the lower speed. But could I do that when I'm out squirrel hunting? Definitely. I mean, if I'm shooting that, and obviously it's low speed, but it goes to show that you don't have to shoot them that high of speed. I named my 25 the Reaper. Let's see. Never had much luck with the H&Ns. I've had a few. The Crow Barracuda Hunters didn't do too bad out of it. Uh, Atlanta Braves hat. Yeah, I just wear it. I mean, for tonight. Yeah, Tim, I'll have to send you an email. Jimmy went ahead and sent me your link to your email, or so I'll go ahead and send you one tonight or tomorrow at some point in time when I get a chance. Am I a fan of Atlanta Braves? I mean, not really. I just, I have it. I have this hat. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care. Yeah, Braves hat in Michigan. Hey, I have a San Diego Padre hat too. It's up here in Michigan. I Guys, I just wear the hats when I can. I don't care. I have a whole closet full of just different hats, and it's like, God, I need to. I need to go through them. And funny thing is, I have a Detroit Tigers hat. Tim, you know who they are. I don't even wear it. Like, I have a New York Yankees hat. I don't even wear. I have a Toronto Blue Jays hat, and I don't wear. So it's like poor Mike over there in Canada. A Gamma Swarm Whisper 22 loves a Crossman Premier Hollow Points than Gamma Red Fires. Yeah, mine. When I was shooting today with them, I was shooting the Barracuda 18s, and they didn't do too bad. These pellets right here, they didn't do too bad out of that gun, but I can tell you right now that the FX JSP 1813 shoot really good out of the Gamma Swarm Whisper, and you're talking dime size, if not. Hat, not hand. I'm from Kalamazoo. Yeah, my brother went to Western Michigan. I know where that's at. That's crazy. We got two Michigan boys in here. And I'm not even wearing a Detroit Tigers hat. That's sad, guys. Like, might as well wear the Lions hat because they're gonna suck this year. Little Godzilla's gonna eat them up this year. Oh man, you guys are too much for me. Come on, one of you guys guess that scope on that 25 on the Godzilla, because I haven't done a video. I haven't shown it yet. So I want to see if you guys can guess it. And we'll see. But it does have side focus on it. Has a lighted reticle. And it's a 3 to 9 power. Let's see if you guys can guess that scope right there. Let me turn it this way a little bit so you guys can see it. And it came with a sunshade and scope covers and the mounts that I have on the scope right now. So let's see if you guys can guess it. And no, it's not a center point, so don't even say that. See if you guys can answer that one. Here it is. That's what AGEX wants you guys to answer tonight. See who can ace it. Because I guarantee no one will. And no, it's not an element optic. It's a scope that I probably would have never thought of I would have had in my life. And James, if you're watching this, you better not say it, because he knows what it is. You can make a sweep team out of the Lions. All you have to do is trade the whole team for the Bears. I don't need a scope. My weapons are for home self-defense. I live in townhouse. Come on, guys. Someone's gonna answer it eventually. I mean, I can limit it down. It's not a high-end scope. It's really not. And it's kind of a lower-end scope. I could say that. I mean, if it was an element, that'd be different. But it does have the locking turrets on the top. Oh my god, I can't do this tonight. Jeez. It's got the locking turret on top. You could set it to 0 like the elements. And yeah, let's see if you guys can answer this one. I mean, I was never a big fan of this brand. I had one before, and it just didn't really fall apart on me, but came down to the point where it was just not working very well. And, you know, give us a hint, Jimmy. I don't even think he's watching tonight. He's too busy with his wife and kid tonight. I mean, it's simple and it's crystal clear. Like, I would almost compare it. Well, no, I can't say that. But I couldn't compare it to the element. Like, there's no way at all. Like, it's clear for the price point, but when you get into the element line, you know, you don't want to go back. Like, why did not what? Huh? I don't have that gun. But our deer season opens up tomorrow. Nope, neither of them. It is a low end. It's not an element. Yeah, I wouldn't compare it to an element, but um, it's not any of them. Something else that you guys probably wouldn't discover. I thought about getting one of those little air bows. Just for the fun of it, just shoot a deer with. Like, I think it'd be kind of cool. Stock gamma scopes suck. Yeah, no, it's not a gamma scope. CV Life. You're close. You're getting close. Tim, you're getting real close now. But like I said, guys, I mean, if for the price point of this scope, it is crystal clear, and it does work. Like it, I mean, if I needed a scope, I'd definitely go out and buy this. I mean, just for the price point, and but it's not that. I mean, there's a lot of scopes out there that that are made for air guns, and I'll limit some of them down. So obviously, it's not an element, it's not a center point, it's not a Simmons CV Life, but it's close to that one. Um, it's not a Baresca. Um, it's not a Gamma scope. It's something that's like kind of right in that line, but it's close to that CV Life. And you guys are gonna crap your pants when you discover how much it is for it, and it's actually crystal clear. It's a company that's been out for quite a bit of time, and actually the logo's on the back side of the scope right now. I mean, my Gamma Whisper came with a 4x32, and it was actually pretty clear, and for long range it wasn't, but for that close range 20 to 40 yards it actually worked pretty good. But definitely I would upgrade it. Uh-oh, here we go. Walmart clearance scope. Nope, it's not one of them. It might be, actually, the more I think of it. Come on, Tim. What one is it? Is it that one, or is it that one that you just said? You kind of are. You're getting close to it now. Like you just basically put it in that comment. But what one is it? Your last comment, Tim. You're on it now. Like you're there. You just got to say it now. Like it's. You're right. It's one of them right there. Two more comments on that one, and we'll go ahead and show it off. And I haven't done a video yet in my squirrel hunting gun review. It wasn't on the gun yet, but now it's on Godzilla. So I was still kind of tuning it in, sighting it in for the slugs. But yeah, it's one of them, Tim. And it's a mil dot reticle. I could give that away. It's a mil dot. Nope, it's not that one. Yeah, like I said, I mean the 4x32s are not bad. They're really not. I mean they're good within a certain distance range. I mean, the glass is not bad. The reticle is obviously your pretty reticle, single crosshair, which is not bad. I mean, if you're just gonna take the scope out and play some cans out there at 20 yards, that scope works good. But it didn't really, where I need it for, above that 50-yard range, and um, it just didn't do me any good. Starts with nah, never mind. I'm not saying it. Oh, there it is. Yep, guys, it is. Tim, you're right. Tim, you finally aced it. It is a Pinty scope right there. Oh. Pinty 3 to 9 by 40 AO scope. It's got the locking turret 3 to 9 by 40. It's got the turret that locks down. It's like the Elements, how they have the lockdown turrets. Lighted reticle. Comes with the scope mounts. Great little scope. It really is. It got 6 dots in it, mil dot reticle. Perfect for your hold and stuff. And I already got it calculated out. Yeah, it's a little iffy right now, but got it tuned in. It's ready to go out there in the field this fall. It's a great little scope for the price point. I only paid about $50 for this out of my own, and MS didn't send me this scope. I bought it on my own, and yeah, so it's a great little scope. I mean, I wouldn't compare it to the Element. That's just who I am. I mean, the Element is a whole different scope. I mean, every day I look through that Element and I put it up against that one. Guys, I hate to tell you this, but no, it's not gonna compare against that Element optic. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of sitting there and comparing this and that against each other and stuff like that. I just love the Element optics. And yeah, they're pricey, but I'm lucky enough to get my hands on it and to be able to use one of them. And I mean, the Helix you could pay like 400. I think they go for about 400 on the Helix model, and they're good crystal clear scopes on them. But for the price point of them, I mean, they're not bad. Yeah, you can go out and buy you a Hawk optic. You could go out and buy you all these other brands. But you ain't gonna get the point of the Element optic on any of them. And now, guys, I'm not Ted Holdover that would sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, Element optics and this, and and I enjoy shooting the lower end scopes. I mean, they're not bad, but if you really want to get a crystal clear scope, that's where it's at. Yeah, I mean the Pinties 3 and 9 by 40 are not bad scopes. I mean they're really not. I mean for the price point, they're not. I mean I kind of like them, but you know for a PCP, they're not bad. And I put it on Godzilla just because it's a good scope for the gun, you know, and you know should I put the Element on it? Yeah, I probably could, and I'm probably going to eventually, and put the Pinty on the 22. Um, you know, it's everybody's opinion, but yeah, I could say that the Element is a little bit better. in my eyes. And yeah, the element has a little bit more zoom on it and stuff, and it's got a little more power adjustments and all this and that on it. And the element has a little bit more of a reticle inside the scope, more eye up. How would I put it? More eye relief, I guess you could say, on the element over the Pinty. But the Pinty is not a bad scope for the price point. I mean, it's something that I'm gonna be using. Obviously, it's on Godzilla, and it's a great little scope. That's all I can say. I got the same scope on my Diana. What? Yeah, guys. Like I said, I mean, it's not really about what your scope you want. I mean, it's about preference, or oh my god, I can't even talk tonight. Um, how much money you really want to spend on a scope? That's what it comes down to. I mean, it's not about going out there and seeing a channel on YouTube shooting all these high end scopes. It's not really about that. It's about to the point is what you can afford and how you sight it in. That's all it's about. Now I see with the element optics, people on these scopes right here are putting what the heck's it's called? Oh my god. Um, ranges on their top turret, I guess you could say, and then they're sitting there just cranking up and downwards on their scope. And I don't do that. I use my reticles. I'm not a big fan of the turret tape. That's another word. Turret tape, and sitting there and just cranking on the scope. And then, when they're out there at 50 yards, they crank it down, and you can hear it in their videos where it's just, and then when they got to go out there at 100 and something yards, you could hear them go, and I don't do that. That's not who I am. I don't have the turret tape on my scopes, but a lot of people use them like that, and I don't. All my reticle inside of these element optics is basically, I use the mils, I use the dots, I use that, and I calculate, okay, zeroed in at 50 yards, I go out, that day, and I'll spend time and actually shoot and realize, okay, how much hole do I have to do? And then I calculate it, and then instead of sitting there turning the top for that yardage, that's not who I am. I mean, but yeah, the element optics are better. But, it's not anything against your lower end scopes, guys. I mean, I do like the lower end scopes. Like, I have a scope here that cost $100 on this Crawl PL3. That is a Spectrum, and this scope works really good. And for a first focal plane, this scope works fantastic. And the first focal planes, if you guys don't all know, you can go ahead and you can adjust the zoom, and it'll stay 0. So I can go out there at 4 power, 20 yards, and shoot. And then let's say I want to go out there at 75, but I want to come up to 7 power. 7 power is still 0. So the first focal planes are kind of nice for that situation there. Now I feel like I'm gonna get hate because I'm a element supporter. No, I mean it's not really about what everybody else has. It's about what you can afford, and what's going to work best for you. I mean, to be honest, guys, what I really thought about getting my eyes on an element optic, probably, you know, and from MS Air Guns sending me that element optic to use to review and have. Who knows what I probably would have never even had an element optic. Yeah, they're pricey. I can say this. They're extremely pricey. The Titan goes for over 600 bucks right now out the door. The Nexus goes for even more, so it's not really about just the element optics that um come down to the point where, hey, you know what, if this is who I am, basically, if you can afford a scope like that, you know, I don't know how I could word it here, but if you can afford a scope like that, and yeah, the Helix, it's like a $400 scope right now at the door, I believe. The last time I looked was about 400 ish, and it's a great scope. It does work, and it's who what you want to do and what you're going to use the gun and what your preferential preference is on what you want to use it for. That's what it comes down to. And, it's not really about, oh, you got to go out there and get this scope just because everybody else is using it. Or, hey, you got out there and get the gun because everybody else is using this gun. It's not about that. It's about what you can do and how you can tune your gun in with that scope, that right projectile, the right tuning and stuff like that, and then set it up as that. And you know what? When you look at people that have this higher end stuff, it might work for them, but everybody's tune's going to be different. And everybody's going to have their own opinion on stuff, and I'm not going to sit here and, you know, say that just because you don't have an element optic as an example, and stuff like that. And it bugs me. It really does. It bugs me to the point where it's like, hey, I don't even have a FX air gun. You know, it doesn't mean that I'm a nobody out there on YouTube. It comes down to what you can afford and what you can't. You know, First focal plane Helix. It's almost 500 bucks. Yeah, so they're a little pricey, but you know they do come down to the point where they're good optic, but I do like it, and I have its up and downs with it. I can give you guys the pros and the cons of that scope, and over these lower end scopes and the pros and the cons. It's it's to the point where it's like, ugh. But then again, it's not about anything. Like, I could give you guys the pros and the cons of the elements over the Pinties and the center points and these Barescas and, the Simmons and CV Life and all these other scopes out there. I could give you guys it. But just because I don't like something about the scope doesn't mean you guys are going to like something about the scope. Everybody has their own opinion on those scopes, the guns. Like, I could sit there and tell you about Godzilla, what I like and don't like about it, and it comes down to that. That's what people come to on YouTube to look the pros and the cons of that video, of that gun's optic, ammo, um, anything really. And that's what keeps you guys coming in to watch them. It's not really about, you know, just because I have an element optic, doesn't mean that I'm a professional here. It's about the pros and the cons and and yeah, that's something I'm probably going to end up doing here is doing the pros and the cons over the element versus a lower end scope, you know. And that's a video that I've got in mind now. And there's going to be a big difference obviously in the two scopes. Um but then again, you guys will see that, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's not about really your scope. It's about your tuning the right projectile and stuff like that. Yeah, that glass in that scope, that reticle may help a little bit, but it's about your tuning of the gun, the pellet over that optic on top. Yeah, the optic does help you to see, but it's about the tuning process of the gun. I'll go ahead and read some comments here. Been using the Yeah, I don't have any of those mounts. I don't have the FX no limit mount in any of my guns. I don't have the There's another brand out there and I'm trying to think of it. There's quite a few brands that have the adjustable scope mounts on the gun or on the scopes or mounts, I guess you could say. I don't have any of them. Um, Probably eventually, probably will have some, but as of right now, I don't have any of them. I'm trying to think the other ones. I know there's another brand out there on them. I know they make. Yeah, that's something I kind of thought about getting instead of using the black scope mounts like I have on this one. Is I did see that some of the one company does make some different color mounts. Like that would be cool to have on a scope. Like have chartreuse and have blue and have red and yellow and I think it'd be kind of cool just to have them on there. Like yeah, it would be cool to see that. Hmm. Yeah, basically all I do is there's a motion I do. And this is 1 to 2 tips I can give you guys that I've been doing, and this is really helping out a lot. Um let's go ahead and answer this one and then we'll go ahead and get into it. All right, Tim, we'll see you later and stay safe. And I'll definitely give you an email tomorrow and we'll go ahead and talk over that, I guess. And appreciate your support to the channel. Usually I don't talk to other people on my YouTube, but You know, Tim's been there for a while. So guys, this is my 2 tips right here on how to be precise in shooting air guns, and if it's PCPs especially, is there's the first tip is I see a lot of people doing is when they go to shoot, for example, when they go ahead and they take their gun, and let's say it's on the bog pod or free-handed or off of a rest, what they do is they shoulder the gun like normal, and then they go and they shoot and they look up right away before that projectile gets down there to the target. Well, when you do that, what happens is when you squeeze it and then you look up right away, you're actually moving that gun all over. That's not the case to go. So I got another tip is this is how I figured it out. So when you're shooting, you squeeze, 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 and the gun goes off, and you look through your scope. And then once you hear impact, then you can look up above your scope. What I see a lot of people doing is they shoot and they look up right away, and that's not good. That's where it throws off your shots instant, and that doesn't help out. Another tip is why I can get my guns to shoot very good. Yeah, maybe out there, 50 yards and closer, maybe beyond. Um, is people about the trigger finger. When they shoot their trigger, you know, they squeeze, 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 and then they know where it's gonna break at, and then they continue to squeeze, 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 and then it fires, which is good. But then I see people out there that go like that, and they just quick trigger, and that's where it throws your shot off, is because it goes like that, and then they rack another one and go again. That's not good. So what I done is I go ahead and get on my target and I squeeze, and I know where this gun's gonna break at, and that's where it comes down to the point where everybody's got to have their gun set up to them. And I don't go like that. I don't jerk it, and I don't do any of that. I just steadily squeeze, and I know every single time where that gun's gonna break, where that trigger's gonna fire, and I stay all the way through that motion. Or a lot of people, what they do is they sit there and they'll rack around in, and then what they'll do is they'll squeeze, and then what they'll do is they'll let off before even getting all the way through the trigger. They'll just let off of it, and then they'll come back to it again, and they'll let off again, and then they'll finally like that. That's not good. Like, I see a lot of people doing that, and people realize why they're getting such crappy groups. It's not really about, you know, that. It's about that follow through. And watch that projectile fly through that scope and hear that impact, and then look up above that scope instead of jerking it, or just messing with the trigger, and then, do that and then finally squeeze it all the way through. It's all about that scope. Basically, it's about eye relief. When you look through that scope, you want to make sure when you're looking through it that as soon as you drop your cheek down on that cheek riser, that cheek piece, you want to make sure that when you do that, that your eye is actually, that you could see that whole reticle in that scope. A lot of people I see, they get their cheek on the gun, and then they're doing this and they're doing this, and and they're trying to do that in circles. That's no good. I mean, it's that's the reason why accuracy sucks. It's not really about that. You want to make sure that that gun is set up to your best. When you look through that scope, that you're able to see that whole entire reticle and that scope all the way through, whether it's a mil dot or lines, whatever it is inside the scope. But when you go ahead and set that scope up, you always want to make sure that that scope is perfect to your eye when you look through it, instead of, moving your head forward and back and up and down and doing all this. Because chances are, if you have to do all that, then it comes down to the point where it's like, nope, that's not even, that's no good. Like, it's something you're gonna have to adjust. Like, all my scopes right now are all set to my eye. So when I look through them, obviously I got the scope covers on this Pinty, but when I look through, I don't do this and I don't do this. When I look through and I draw it straight up, my head is dead center. It's not really about if my head's here, and it's not really about if my head's back here. It's about that perfect height. And when I look through it and I can lift my head out and drop it back in, and I can see the whole reticle inside the scope. And then after that, it comes down to that trigger. So when you rack it and you're going on that trigger and it's on fire, and you squeeze it and you do this because you want to see what's going on with that gun. But when you go and you like that, that's no good. So I come down to the point where my motion is consistent every single time when I'm on that gun, whether it's Godzilla or the 22 or any gun. My motion is the same every single time. Like, it's how it is. And I'm not always going to squeeze the trigger and then get up above the scope and see where it's hitting at. I'm looking through that scope as that projectile is flying out of that barrel. And then once I hear the impact, chances are I'm not going to look through, or I'm not going to lift my head up, because I could see through my scope where that pellet, bullet, anything hit on that target, instead of lift my head up. Because actually, guys, you can't see as clear as you can through that scope if you have it set up right. If the zoom is perfect on that scope, there should be no reason why you should lift your head up above that scope if that scope is zero to your eye. That's how I get my precision shots, is I don't lift my head up, and as soon as I squeeze that trigger, I watch that pellet hit my target or animal. And then after that, then I look up. Once I know that pellet impacted or bullet, then I can lift up and look and see, But that's what it comes down to. And that's how I get my precision shots, is because of that. So that's a few tips that little King Ajax can give out. And, I can't give them all, but there's two other tips that I'm not going to give away just yet that I've discovered on my own end, and they work pretty good. As there's flies in our garage, this is nice. Jeez. So guys, well, let's see, maybe read some comments here. That's it. That's the Eagle Vision. That was the other, the scope mounts that I was thinking about. Yep, Eagle Vision. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back, and we'll see if more people come in. If not, then we're gonna get out of here tonight, and I'm gonna go to bed and get up. And god dang, flies are flying around. Hang on. Oh, we got 2 people in here now, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and possibly. Oh, now we got 3. So I'll go ahead and answer a few more questions if you guys have any about hunting or air gun related and stuff like that. And I mean, I don't have too much more tips I can give you guys because otherwise I just ruin it for myself here. And um, I mean, if it's something simple as just scope related, or why people are getting bad shots like I just demonstrated. Normally I wouldn't do that type of stuff, but I want to help you guys out, and to get to the point where you guys can shoot better, especially if your gun's not shooting very good. And another tip is I can give you guys, this one is to make sure your barrel is clean. That's the other tip, is to make sure that's all good. And then you know go through those tips I just said, and you guys will watch that your precision will actually improve a heck of a lot from that. Avenger 22 versus Gauntlet 2. I mean, I kind of like the Avenger. I have a Gauntlet 2, the first generation, but I would totally go with the Avenger. Not because I just don't like the brand of Umarex. I mean, they make good products and stuff, but the Avenger has more adjustments. You can adjust the regulator, you can adjust the hammer spring. You know, it's got way more than what you can with the Gauntlet. Yeah, the Avenger only has a 180cc model on it, um, over the Gauntlet, but you know, you ain't gonna be able to hand pump neither of them. And if you can hand pump them, you better let me know, because, whew, like, that's crazy. But I definitely go Avenger. Um, yeah, I think I'm not. That's the thing, guys. I'm not really 100% sure on how much the Gauntlet 2 goes for, but the synthetic stock Avenger goes for about, I think, like 3 something. And the wood stock, like I have in 22, goes for about 400. So, um, I would definitely go with your in my eyes, just because you can adjust a lot more on it, and it's, I don't know, 479C. Yeah, that's too pricey. I mean, and you can't really adjust it. Yeah, it comes with a bigger bottle and stuff like that, and a little different stock on the Gauntlet 2 and this and that. But the Air Ventura Avengers are a little bit better. And I have the wood stock. The only problem is about Godzilla in my 25 here is it's synthetic. It's really flimsy, plasticky. But then you get into the wood stock models, such as the 22 Avenger, and it's not flimsy. It's just a standard wood stock gun. There's no flex, there's nothing to it, and you get this really nice wood stock on the gun. And you can adjust the regulator, so your regulator pressure is right here on the gun, and your fill pressure is right here. And then you got the degassing right here, and you got your regulator adjustment. Side lever, no more bolt. You know, it's the same magazine as the Gauntlets come with. That's the only difference, or the same as they did with the AGEX'S, is the same Gauntlet mags. But with the Avengers, you get the Picatinny style, and then you get the dovetail mounts, or style, in the same mount. So you got options. Then with the 22, or with the Woodstock model, you got sling mounts that actually will fit a sling on it. And then in the back, you got your hammer spring screw right back there. You know, so you get a little more adjustments with the Avengers than you do the Gauntlets. I mean, that's the only downfall I don't like about the Gauntlet, is not able to adjust things on the gun. That's what I don't like about it. I mean, and I don't know too much about the Gauntlet 2. I mean, I've seen a few videos here and there, but so far that I've seen, I'm not a big fan of that model of gun. And it's not because I'm just bashing AGEX'S and, you know, but Air Venturi has so much more adjustments, and the Avengers and stuff, and, you know, it's so much easier to tune and work with over the Gauntlets. Like, I'm almost thinking of possibly selling my Gauntlet, but just because I don't use it much anymore. And then with the synthetic stock Avenger, you guys can hear too flimsy. Same thing, you got your reg pressure and your fill pressure. Your your hammer spring is covered up there. You got the same rail, same magazine, 8-shot. You got the Picatinny style rail for your little mounts if you wanted to mount a little bipod or something like that. And you got your scope, or not scope, sling mounts right there. Right there. So yeah, the Avengers are way better in my eyes. And you got the adjustable trigger. I know the Gauntlets have the adjustable triggers on them too, you know, but I would totally go with the Avengers. I've never really reviewed one of them. I've never got my hands on one of them. I heard about them, but it'd be kind of cool to review one in my eyes. Man, we got 4 people in here. I thought we were slowing down for a little bit, but I guess we're picking up here. You guys want me to be on tomorrow night? Let me know. I mean, I might end up being on. We'll see what happens. I know I got some last minute small game stuff to get ready, and our squirrel season's starting up on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that. And that's why I'm not really messing with these guns right now, is because they're all pretty much tuned in and ready to go. This is something I want you guys to do. They're both tuned in, both guns. Or actually all 3. If you guys haven't watched my latest video, I was talking about the crawl, my top 3 I should have really listed it as my top 3 squirrel guns for the season. But I have the Crawl MPO3 that's really accurate. I have the Avenger in 25 Godzilla, which is a slug gun. Then I have the Avenger in 22. So I want you guys to answer this one. What gun should I take out opening morning on Wednesday? Should I take Godzilla in 25 that shoots slugs? Or should I take the Avenger in 22? Or should I take the Crawl NPO3? Because there's no way I'm going to be able to take all 3 in one day. That'd be a lot of honey. And it's supposed to rain. Avenger 22. Yeah, I that's what I'm thinking, of taking the old Avenger 22 out and shoot the Barracuda 18s, or yeah, I got it tuned in right now with the Barracuda 18s, and it's deadly accurate with that element optic on top, and so I might end up just taking that bad boy out there. So anyways, guys, we're out of here. I'm gonna go to bed, and we got 1 vote for the Avenger in 22. So we got up until Tuesday. I guess I'll take note until Tuesday on what gun that I should take and what gun you guys want to see for opening morning in a video. And we got 1 for the Avenger 22. So you guys will have to let me know and be surprising on what gun will win. But yeah, 22 Avengers winning right now. So anyways, guys, that's it. We're out of here. You're watching Air Guns Extreme. We'll see you guys most likely probably before Wednesday. So you guys stay tuned, and hope you're all staying safe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.